Guys, welcome to another episode of Business Besties Live. I'm Kara, and I'm here with my beautiful business bestie, Mindy Baxton. I think she's on this side. Hey, Mindy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. So I'm so excited to bring this topic today. Today, we are going to talk about how to grow your business when you're booked out or you're just busy, because this is going to look different for everyone. And friends, if you're new to Business Besties Live, Mindy and I, we have taken over 3,800 coaching calls helping entrepreneurs build their businesses and grow. And what we did, we would spend so much time on the phone every day, like talking about all of the problems in business and how we would solve them. And so we decided to just turn the camera on and bring that to y'all live. So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, excited you guys are here. As you do get here, say hello in the comments. Let us know that you are here. Also, I'd love to know where you were tuning in from. So let us know that in the comments as well. And how long, if you're building business online, how long have you been in business? Let us know that too, would you?
Yeah, we'd love to know all of those things. Drop them in so we can chat with you. So let's just get into it today. Let's talk for just a second about a lie that a lot of us have believed for a long time. And it's I'll work on my business when things slow down.
Yeah. That equals I'll never actually work on my business because it never slows down. There's always something going on, whether it's a big event happening in your business, maybe there's a new product launching, life is happening, right? You've got softball and gymnastics. And does it ever slow down, Kara? I don't know that it does.
No. So it's really funny. Several years ago, I heard this saying and it's really stuck with me. Somebody said, I feel like being an adult is just saying things will slow down next week until you die.
Yeah.
Like, it's it. Next week's going to be easier. No, it's not.
So the point in this being is that if you never make the time to work on your business, it's not going to compound. It's not going to likely grow. And if anything, you're probably going to see a regression in it if you're not making the time to do that. So that's what we're going to really get into today.
Yep. And I want to talk about Mindy and I both are in, different types of business. And so I want to talk about kind of what that looks like for each of us and how you kind of protect that. So for me, I am a service-based business and I do a lot of website and tech type builds. So building funnels and courses and helping people with their launches and things like that. And I work very closely one-on-one with my clients. I had to identify what my capacity was to be able to deliver effectively and over deliver, because that's what I love to do, but still also have time to market. Because what I found was I was working with these clients who had already paid me. So they were, at the bottom of my funnel, they had already come through, but I was not filling the top of my funnel anymore with new leads. And so while right then revenue was good, I didn't have consistent revenue funneling through there. And so that's what it looks like for a service-based business is you have to really identify what it looks like to still be able to maintain your current book of business, but also keep filling the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
What does it look like for you?
On the social selling side of things too, because I've been selling products online since 2018 full time, and very similar in the fact that it all starts at the top of the funnel. It all starts with leads coming in, with creating content that's attracting new eyeballs for both service-based and social selling or network marketing folks, right? We always are needing new eyeballs on our stuff. So in that right there is a content, that right there is a content issue or a content time block that you really need to focus on. Because again, if you don't, and like we talked about last week, all of a sudden you take your foot off the gas, right? You're posting, and then you're ghosting. That's not a great strategy. That's going to actually set you back even further, right?
Yeah. And that does a few things. It's going to, you're going to lose credibility with your people. They're going to forget about you. For some people, and this is one thing, a lot of times when we say you don't just have to build the funnel when you don't just have to build content to get people into the funnel. You have to make sure the funnel exists. So for some people, they need a lead capture system and a way to get people in. And I like to say you can aggravate the problem. You can create content that exposes that this person has a problem. But if they don't know how now that you solve that problem, you've aggravated the problem and they're going to go shop with your competitor. Yeah. So if you aren't taking the time to work on your business and actually build that top of the funnel, get people in and actually capture them and have conversations with them, your business is going to stall out.
And that actually, when you're thinking again about building your business while you're fully booked, let's say booked with work, booked with clients, booked with onboarding, team onboarding calls and stuff. But the truth of the matter is to really build and to scale your business. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself on this conversation right now, but you have to have those things in place. So I'm curious, for those of you watching this right now, how many of you have a way to capture those leads? I want you to comment capture in the comments. And if you don't have a lead capture, I want you to write it down. No lead capture, because that's something we can definitely talk about on another episode of Business Besties Live, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
Just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, so it was funny tell you personally. So I'm onboarding a new VA. I onboarded one starting in January and things didn't work out. So I'm kind of starting over. And last night it was really funny. We're working on content right now. I write all the content and then I let her help me with graphics and I, that kind of thing. So, last night I was showing her how to schedule and I looked up and I was like, Carrie, you haven't posted a piece of content since Sunday. And I looked at my watch and I'm like, it's Wednesday. So guess what I did before I went to bed last night?
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that a piece of content was going out first thing today because I got so busy doing the thing that's going to help me grow and scale, but I let my foot off of the gas. And we have to be aware of that. And we have to look at that. And we have to have our, our finger on that pulse because time gets away from you and you have great intentions. But if you don't have systems and you're not taking the time to do it, guess what? All of us can fall guilty to that.
Yeah. And that's a perfect segue into the difference. There's a difference between running your business and building your business, right? There's a difference between running your business and building your business. And my friend, you get to do both, right? You get to do both. And, and it is spinning of plates. Like I would equate it to just, we got to spin a lot of plates, but that's just part of the gig. It's part of what we signed up for.
Yep. Yeah. And another thing I want to talk about, because a lot of people are like, but I need the revenue right now. Sometimes not taking a new client on because you know that if you sign that new client or you add that new, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, it's going to cut into your marketing time. It's actually smarter for you to say no to this instant opportunity and say yes to the future of your business. Yeah. So I'm in a season right now where I am having to really back up and turn down clients so that I can put the processes in place so that I can then add more clients and have a bigger capacity in the future.
Sometimes we call that slowing down to speed up. And sometimes I mean, I won't say sometimes, there are times in your business where you have to slow down a little to speed up and put in the necessary infrastructure. Like, again, I'm a social seller. I have had posts go viral. Now, not product posts where I see some of these girls crushing and it's just like, they've got like 900 comments, guide, right? Or like collagen. And I mean, some people are blowing up their businesses like that. It literally gives me hives to think about because I have not, let me say this, I'm going to correct myself. I have just created a business page to where I can set up automation for that very reason, that as I'm continuing to build and share products online, I need the automation because I'm preparing for that to happen. And again, I got to take a little pause in my business to create all of that. Thank God I know a tech girl. Her name is Kara. And anyways, to help with that, because honestly, putting that infrastructure in and then, but I say all that to say too, I've had a lot of proof of concept. When I market products online, I sell them. And when I really put my pedal to the metal and really put my focus on it, it's going to go crazy. And I expect that, but I've been doing it for 7 years. So anyways, just that side note.
Well, but I'm going to back up a little bit. How long have you been wanting to create a business page, but you've been resisting it?
Quite some time because I've had a lot of success on my personal page.
Yeah. So Mindy, for the longest time, I'm like, friend, like you could actually automate some of this and she's like, I know, but I'm doing so good with my business page or with my, personal page.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to get to that point where we see, okay, I really do have to slow down to speed up. Yeah. And it takes us being disciplined enough to look at that and then make the decision to do it.
And I will add to this too, that sometimes that season needs to be just I don't know. I've held off and I've kind of put my heels in the sand a little bit on it. I know, Kara. This is why we have each other, right? Like she kind of pushes me a little bit and pokes me in the belly. But the truth of the matter is, now that I've got it and I've got it starting to get established, I mean, again, I've got like 7 followers on there, whatever, because I haven't put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it, which again comes back to consistent content creation, which now I'm going off on something else. Anyway, yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. You're right. But I do want to say too, and this is going to be something that we talked about in another episode, and so you can look that up, the metrics that matter episode.
Yeah.
The fact that Mindy only has 7 followers on that page means nothing. All we care about is engagement on her post. People are going to engage, but never choose to follow. And so that is what, like, that focus is the right focus. Who cares how many followers? I just want you consistently posting.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, just remember those kind of things when you are taking those big leaps.
Yeah. So that continues on this conversation of, running your business and building your business. If you have no content, you have no eyeballs. If you have no conversations, you have no new opportunities. And if you have no offers, you have no future sales, right?
100%. 100%. I had somebody come to me, and I love this client so much, but I had somebody come to me and she's like, I'm ready to build all the tech. I'm like, okay, great. What are we selling? Well, I'm not really sure yet. And I was like, okay, then we're not quite ready to build the tech. Now I want you to go have conversations with your audience. I want you to create content that has conversations so that you can figure out what they need, what they want, and what they're willing to pay for. And then let's set up all your tech, right? You can get a lead magnet going. But if we don't have that offer that we know our clients are going to buy, then we don't really have a business yet. And so your goal is to create that content that gets that. And so if you're not having a lot of success, that's where we go. That's where we go and we start. So eyeballs, content, conversations. That's what we want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's move on to really identifying low energy versus high energy work. The truth of the matter is not all work is created equal. And this matters when your schedule is tight. It matters, period. Like how you wake up in the morning. Sometimes people are not morning people. Some people crush it. Kara, like, works until midnight, right? like
only out of necessity sometimes.
I know. But I think too, it's really important when you're plugging the time blocks and so to say, so forth into your schedule. Scheduling like the low energy kind of tasks versus the high energy tasks for those times where, again, like in the afternoon, my low energy stuff is my admin work, checking messages, like, you know what I mean, that I can kind of mindlessly answer, responding to comments, that kind of stuff. Like that's my low energy work. I guess that's kind of the space where in the afternoon, when I kind of feel like I could take a nap, I can do some of that low energy work and just keep the ball rolling. Right.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing that I don't think until recently I had really realized was how many entrepreneurs have ADHD. And there's different things. Like for me being a tech girl, I also need to create content. I need to show up. I need to create talking head videos. I need to go live. I need to do all of those things. My brain can't task switch back and forth without it draining my energy. So I have to really utilize those days. So there are days that I don't get out of my pajamas, because when I put my makeup on and I get dressed and I, put the clothes on, then I get mentally into, it's time for me to show up and be forward facing. Yeah. And it's funny because I hadn't realized, and so this may resonate with somebody. If you maybe don't identify with low energy, higher energy, but there's some kind of triggers that you can identify that say, okay, today is one of those days where I'm going to have to just sit down and knock it out, tech wise. And I watched a girl, I was watching a YouTube video, and she was a tech person, and she started her video and she's all like dressed up and all the things. And she goes, I'll be right back. And she comes back and the video starts over and she's in pajamas. And she's like, this is how I build. I cannot build with clothes on. So identifying those types of things will actually help you be more effective during those time blocks.
Oh my goodness,
So
that's super helpful.
is that
And I
weird
think
though? I mean,
it is. But again, this goes back to what we talk about often, and it's your uniqueness. I
Mhm.
mean, just because Kara staying up till midnight working on stuff, no way, no way. That's not my thing. And if I had to do that, I probably wouldn't do this because I just
Mhm.
don't. I don't operate like that, and that's okay. I don't have to. And to your point, like this gal, when she shows up all dressed up and whatever, and she's like cringy, like I have a hard. I mean, I'm kind of with that girl. Like it's hard for me to get all like. I mean, this is nothing. Plus, I'm wearing sweats right now. You guys just can't see them. It's business on top and party on the bottom, as you said, right, Kara?
Yep.
Anyway, but like if you are not, and again, I guess I say this like I want you to. Like, we always want to do things with excellence, but if it's like if it's like causing friction in your spirit,
Mhm.
you don't have to do it or figure out another way that works best for you. Right. I would rather get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get to cranking out stuff, maybe go for a little walk in the morning, really get the blood flowing and then get after my work, then work till midnight and to each their own. Right.
Yep. Yeah. And just so y'all all know, I'm not usually work till midnight. It's a time zone thing and it's just a season. And that's the only way that I'm functioning right now with midnight. But I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Just a season. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what some of these tasks are and how based on your personality, they may fall into different buckets. So for me, low energy work is admin, checking messages, scrolling and, reacting to and what do you call it? Interacting on other people's content. That kind of busy work. The creating the content, like writing the messaging, creating the emails, starting conversations or continuing those conversations, creating landing pages, offers, all of that, those are high energy work for me. Those are things that really take a lot of brain power. So whatever direction, like whatever works for you, you have to just really start being mindful and figure that out so that you can be efficient in the time that you're given.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. We talked about this before, so we'll just kind of lightly touch on it. I want to be mindful of time, but where this growth time actually fits into a packed schedule. I think you and we talked about it, right? With the sand and the rocks and I forget what episode it was, but it was really good. So I'm speaking to the person that if your calendar is feeling really full, where are you supposed to do all of this stuff? Well, I have some thoughts right out of the gates. Kara, do you want to touch on this first?
I'll tell you how I do it because I leave my schedule open for clients to be able to book up until Sunday night. And on Sunday night, right before I go to bed, I grab my phone and I look at my Google Calendar. And as soon as I do that, I know how many blocks of time I'm going to need to do all of these things each week. So what I do is at that point, I've given clients up until Sunday night, the week of, I go through and I start blocking out time. And I just put block, 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 wherever I need to, so that then I know I have 3 or 4 or 5, whatever my schedule looks like that week, of protected spaces that I'm not going to be on calls, which require a different energy, and I can just sit down and work. Those, you have to be able to protect that time. So for me, it's giving my clients still flexibility, but it's also allowing me to have structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Mindy?
Yeah. Well, and mine's a little bit different in the fact that I don't take a lot of client, like one-on-one stuff. I have group coaching stuff that I have. And my time blocking looks a little bit different with that. And for me, I've gotten into such a habit of content creation. I don't need to block that. That's just what I do every day. But for some of you, it might look like the first hour of the day to where you're like, okay, again, my morning routine, like it's all locked in, right? Downstairs, my coffee, my Jesus time. I go work out with my best friend, Stacy, come back home, and then I'm getting to cranking on work, right? Creating content typically in the morning. So I post every day. I'm in my stories pretty much every day. Reels, we all know, if you know me at all, you know that I'm challenged with reels. Okay. But for some of you, that could be the first hour of your day before you start taking client calls, that you're getting, again, your content dialed in, because we always want to fill the top of the funnel. And even if it's not a physical funnel, in sales, you're always wanting, just think of it like this. You're always wanting new eyeballs coming in, and then you're taking those new eyeballs and you're getting to know them, and they're getting to know you through your content and whatever. Eventually those warm leads turn into hot leads, and those are who you sell, which is not what this is about. But anyways, or some of you might think it's like either the first hour of the day that you're knocking it out, or maybe you want to do time blocks like Kara was talking. There's time blocks on your calendar. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. At least that's how it is for me, right? Like if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. I mean, coffee with some of my friends, it has to go on my calendar. Or it's not happening. On my Jesus time, it's always on my calendar. Like I have to. And if you're not in the habit of that yet, and you're flying around, like I was going to say with your pants off. Oh, by the seat of your pants. What's wrong with my brain today? Well, are your pants? I don't know. Maybe you're not wearing pants. Who cares? Like do your thing. Anyways, if you're flying around like that, there's a reason why you're not seeing growth in your business. You got to treat it like a business, my friend, and business owners block their time.
And one of the things, some of the best content you have is going to come from those thoughts when you're busy with other things. And so I would just challenge you, if you have a thought, you need to have a way you can quickly record that thought so that you can then go create that piece of content. Because I kind of call those like God winks. Like there are times I know the Lord is like, you need to make this piece of content. Right. And so but I have a document. I go into Google Keep and I'm like, content, boom. And I talk about it. I send a voice note, whatever I need to do so I can capture that idea and get right back to what I was working on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And that's a really, really great tip too. Again, having Google Keep or your Google Notes up on your phone is a super great place to keep those golden nuggets or those little God touches that you're like, oh my goodness, I got to write this down. Or, many of you listen to podcasts or speakers and go to seminars and masterminds, and there's gold just dripping, right? Capture some of that and create a piece of content with it. Yeah. We'll get into some practical application for you guys, which we do every week. This is one of the things I love about us getting to do this every week with these guys. We love to leave you with some practical application. So I want you guys to do this, okay? Identify one weekly growth window. It's a non-negotiable, and I want you to protect it like it's a client appointment. I want you to protect it like somebody has blocked your time. This is your time with you, right? The most valuable, with the exception of Jesus, the most valuable time in your day is to get this done. Because if you're not out there creating content and serving your people, you're going to be out of business pretty soon. I'll just say that.
Yep. Yeah. I always say like the one appointment that I protect is my haircut appointment every 6 weeks. Anything else, it can go pretty much on my calendar. That is how important you need to protect that time to build your business, to work on your business, not in your business. And that's a whole nother, I think we did a whole video about that too. So if you missed it, you can go back and listen to that. But that is so important. We cannot just be maintaining the clients that we have. We have to have that pipeline.
Yeah. And so that new growth window, here's what cannot go in that block. Let's just be clear on this one. Okay. What can't go in that block is admin work. And there's no rescheduling that. Like, let's prioritize it, and no like quick things that need to get done. That's not a random loosey-goosey box. Okay. You assign it on purpose. So here's what that looks like. Or excuse me, you assign it a purpose. Here's what that looks like. That's for content creation. That's for conversations. That is for follow-up. And that's for offer creation. Was there anything you want to add to that list, Kara? Pretty much.
I don't know if you said this, and maybe you did, setting up your lead capture. If you don't already have one, that can go in that bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important. Yeah, absolutely. So
anything that's going to help you fill that top of funnel and capture those people and continue conversations goes in that bucket.
Dude, we need to do a live on that. We need to really, because I think some of you guys, and it's okay if you don't really know if this is a little above your head when we talk about that. This is huge. This is how I have a few different businesses. And one of the ways that I really have grown one of my businesses is really nailing down this lead capture and a whole nurture sequence. So like when I'm just, on the beach or doing my thing out for a walk or whatever, and I have people coming into that pipeline, they're getting nurtured. Kara, we need to do a live on this. Let's
yeah.
because it's huge. I mean, you really want to grow a business and a successful one at that. Get your automations going. So anyways, anything else we want to add before we let these guys go?
I don't think so. Y'all have a great week. Put that protected time on your calendar. Make sure that it's to get new clients and to work on attracting people to you. And we will see y'all next week.
Yeah, sounds good.